Welcome to Unveiling Beauty, the visual podcast that focuses on your beauty and self-care. My name is Anna Manukian, beauty enthusiast and your host today. I'm so excited for my co-host, David Lopez, Ulta Beauty Pro team member and beauty content creator. Thank you so much for being here with me.
It is such a pleasure to join you on the set of Unveiling Beauty, of course, talking about some of my favorite things. Before we get into it, I feel like I need to properly introduce the man of the hour. Deney Adams, Ulta Beauty Pro team member, makeup artist, creator of so many beautiful, fantastic, transformative looks. He has done my makeup a couple of times. I am so lucky. Deney, welcome to Unveiling Beauty.
Hi, thank you for having me. He's lying about a lot of things, but yeah.
We are getting into spooky season. It's getting to that time of year. So we are getting to that time of year. It's my favorite. I like to dress up year round. If you follow me on social, y'all know I love to dress up. And what about you though? Do you feel like you wait until a specific time of year to really explore?
So here's the deal with me. I love doing my own makeup. I love following you. I'm always really inspired by your transformation. And when it comes to Halloween and creating a creative look, I'm always panicked. I'm always feeling unmotivated. And I have a hard time really transforming myself and using my imagination that way. So I'm so excited personally for you to share some of your tips today, because I think that I'm going to show up much better this Halloween season. I'm just going to be inspired by you. But Deney, in all seriousness though, I know you kind of do this all year round. You're constantly focusing on transformation. When it comes to Halloween, where you can really play, what are some of the things that you're really excited about?
By then I'm exhausted. No, just kidding. Halloween for me is a season of imagination and playfulness and the things you can do, and you take it as far as you can. So for me, that's the most exciting part, because I always love to push the envelope and make things. I'm a surrealist, if you will, but make it look like, oh, this could be possible. Yeah. As far when it comes to makeup or art in general. So Halloween for me is the time where I get to play. So
Deney, a lot of the looks that you do, if you don't already follow Deney on social, haven't seen his looks, I know you personally. I know that for a lot of things, they take a lot of planning. And it's a lot of, some people take Halloween very seriously and they wait all year for this moment. I think you have clients that kind of do that and you really work with them. But for those of us that it might be a last minute thing and they're looking for a last minute costume, in what ways can makeup can be the whole entire costume? I know we know about skulls and we know about just the basics, but what are some of your favorite ways that someone can create an entire costume just based around makeup?
Well, makeup, it's playtime, right? So I said, just don't put yourself in a box. If you have, let's say you have some pearls at home, just glue it all over your face. But or I'm known to put everything except the kitchen sink on someone's face. So to me, anything around the house can become part of the makeup, but obviously make it look nice.
Are there any do's and don'ts? So you say that and it's funny, but I can also imagine myself, like, what are some of the things just from a skin health standpoint? Are there any glues to avoid? Is there anything you would not put on someone's skin?
Don't tell anyone.
I know. Listen, there have been some risky things.
Obviously not. When it comes to skin is very important. So I would, do your homework and what works for your skin and what's not working for your skin. So we don't want after Halloween and you have messed up skin after the fact. So just do your research, like do your foundation the way you would do your foundation, unless if you're doing some zombie things, they need to cry or something a little bit heavier. But as far as that, use the proper glue, obviously. I found that I use pretty much anything on the face, but with cautious, and always ask the client if this is proper or if it's okay.
Comfortable.
Yeah. It's a comfortability thing. So I'd say just do your homework before you.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. There are a lot of adhesives out there that are made specifically for makeup. And I think it's what's so special about what you do is that you really see your makeup as art and very transformative. Yeah. So there are things out there that people haven't been exposed to. What would you say if, for example, a skull look? What are the things that people get wrong the most and how can they fix it? For just a simple skull look,
The eye shape.
Okay.
Yeah. The eye shape. Most people make it round, but it's It's a square.
Okay.
Oh, that's
So,
interesting. Okay,
yeah.
so tell me more. So on if you were to draw one on me, because I would absolutely do the round. So am I literally going like a square if I'm applying
You
it?
would literally draw a box on your eyes,
Oh.
maybe above your brows, and then fill that in.
I just learned something new today. Very
Yeah.
good.
And we have other, I think, spooky trends that we can talk about that are, scary. But for me personally, I like to feel beautiful year round. And I think some of the things that people love to do around Halloween are just maybe looks that they wouldn't feel as courageous to do other times of year. I think one of the things we hear a lot about is Euphoria.
Wow,
it's
that's
like
taking over
these
the world.
looks that people see it feels very aspirational. They're like, I could never wear that in real life, but then they wait for Halloween to glue on all the gems and everything. What are some of your tips you have for creating a Euphoria-inspired look?
Well, funny you should ask. No, but I feel like I have been doing Euphoria things for the longest before Euphoria even happened. I'm just gonna say that out there. But it's an easier way to just transform your makeup because it's done in a simpler way, but looks amazing. You know what I mean? By adding gem, by adding pearls, or just like a interesting liner that's you probably would never think where to put it.
I feel like we're seeing that quite a bit, even in, inspired fashion, right? The
Yeah.
eyeliner's having a moment. There's lots of shapes that we're playing with that we wouldn't dare to a couple of years ago. So I feel like that people were getting a little bit more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
What would be if you were to like, I'm going to a Halloween party, I'm feeling inspired about Euphoria, it's giving me life, but I'm not even sure where I would start because I don't want to put too much on my face.
Yeah, of
Do you
course.
have like a little tutorial or how-to that you could share with us?
Funny you should ask. Well, so this is me, obviously, but I'm just gonna put a tip out there. Like for some, this is to the extreme. So for somebody who's just starting or a little bit more intimidated with makeup, so I'd say maybe just put a liner on your crease. Just put a liner on the end of your eyes instead of doing a liner the normal way, But this is Euphoria on steroids.
Yeah.
Let's see it.
So this is me working here. I'm starting with skin. Oh, it's not playing.
Now, one of the things that you said was that
It's me playing it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, this is me starting with skin. Most people would think that I do really love to do eyes, but skin is where I spend the most time. David could vouch for that.
I can attest. I can definitely attest.
Yeah, I would sit on the skin for hours. Sorry, but I would sit on the skin for hours until I'm happy with it. I mean, because the skin is the most you would see on your face. I mean, the eyes is showing, but the skin is the most you would see. So I would take my time to make sure I prep the skin with the right products, with the right primers, with the right moisturizer, and the right foundation. As you can see here, I didn't even use any foundation on her skin. This is just a little bit of concealer, a little cream bronzer, and blush, and a lot of highlighter.
is there anything you would avoid putting on the skin ahead of time to make sure that the adhesives for the gems are sticking?
Well, that's a really good question. It depends on how far or where you're putting the gems. So around the eyes, I would powder a little bit just so the adhesive could stick a little bit better. But on the skin, it tends to stay, even if it's like really, even if you're using a lot of cream product. For me, it tends to stay for a longer period of time because I do use a lot of cream product on the skin. So yeah.
One thing that I think it's important to notice too is that with the Euphoria skin and that kind of Euphoria vibe, one of the things that makes it work is this kind of youthfulness about it. And I have read so much about the makeup on the show that the director really wanted to make sure the skin felt youthful, so they didn't use foundation. They wanted to use very minimal product on the skin, just have that healthy glow. And I think it comes back to that balance of like this very beautiful, healthy skin allows you to go really hard with the eye shape, you know?
Exactly. That's another great way to not feeling like you have a lot of makeup on, especially if you're going to go a little bit crazy on the eyes. Not having so much in your skin is going to make you feel, oh, I'm still looking natural. I still look like myself, but elevated. This is me applying some blue eyeshadow because I'm in a blue kick lately, apparently.
And that's the beauty of makeup is even with a look like this, you still want to look like an elevated, more fun version of
course.
yourself versus having a full transformation.
Exactly.
Love this.
As we know, blue is making a comeback, so it's more like a pastelly purple lilac-y blue, which I'm really obsessed lately, and I've been applying on everyone who sits on my chair. Sorry, but I have, which I am using here. And for the next slides, as I was talking about liner, don't be afraid of changing the shape of your liner. As you can see, this is to the 10th degree, but don't feel intimidated if you put a liner on your crease. It could just be one line on your crease, one line on the inner of your eyes, or maybe just on the bottom, and add, I don't know, some little flowers or pearls or whatnot.
Now,
to the eyes.
one of the call outs here is you're not using a liquid eyeliner. I noticed you're using a brush and you're dipping it into what are you dipping it in?
I do. I rarely use liquid eyeliner. I love cream products because I feel like it gives me a bit more control as opposed to a liner. I could go back and clean it as opposed to a liquid liner where it's like a little bit harder to clean. So, and I do make a lot of mistakes. So what
products, because I know I'm going to try this at home. So what products are you using to get that highly pigmented?
I am using Black Track by MAC Cosmetic, which is one of my favorite. It's been since I worked, since ever, since I can remember, and I never switch it because it allows you to make mistake and go back and clean it.
Right? And it sets,
it does.
And the eyeshadow palette is gorgeous. It's Morphe X.
It's Morphe, yes.
And it's such a beautiful creator and had this amazing collaboration. This palette, I've used it. It's a great palette. I think for someone that wants to play, it has so many different color palettes in there. The cools, the warms, and the yellows. It's beautiful. And so I love that you use the blue kind of tones in there.
Yeah, back to the trendy color. That palette has all the trending colors, to be honest. And I'm using, what am I using here?
I think this is the Urban Decay.
Urban Decay.
Yeah. Right?
The heavy metal glitter. So I just pop a little. Also, you don't have to use black. If you're afraid of black, these are also great products you can actually use, and it doesn't look as intense or heavy because it reflects light. So it's just gonna look like she has something on her eyes, So I just add that along her lash line just to give it a little bit of lift. And here comes the bow.
So emerald.
Now, we don't have to go to this extreme if you are a little bit more timid about makeup.
It's Halloween after all.
This is an everyday.
It's Halloween after all.
Well, yeah.
Why aren't we going to see it? And she's here in the studio, so I feel like she deserves her moment to come out so we can witness your artistry.
Of course. Come on out, Sage.
Come sit next to
I
me.
literally walked into the room and I was like, "Why haven't you done my makeup like this?" And he was like, "You say that every time." And I have learned so much from you. This is such a beautiful eye shape. The liner is gorgeous. I love the accessorizing you did, mixing the pearls with the gems together. It's such a nice, fresh take on it.
Also, a major trend at the moment.
Yeah.
Where people mixing different medium.
Yeah.
So different reflecting medium to create something interesting as opposed to just one thing. These are nail art. I mean, what do you call these things?
Like nail
gems on her eyeballs. But
it's beautiful. And I love that you kept the skin so fresh and dewy. It helps if we're going to a party to already leave the house with fresh, dewy skin. So you're not like, I need a blot. It's already there. It's already built in. Just strategically placed powder. Do you have a trick for a long night of going out on Halloween? You have juicy skin. Do you have strategic places that you put powder? How do you make that feel more purposeful?
Yeah, of course. If you want to keep your skin looking dewy and fresh. So what I always do, I rarely ever powder the whole, as you can see, my hand's still blue. I rarely powder the whole face. So what I do is powder underneath the eyes, around the mouth, chin, and nose. And that's pretty much it. I didn't even powder her nose today. So
I'm looking. I mean, couldn't get closer to her, and your skin looks flawless. It's really beautiful.
I mean, she has amazing skin. I couldn't really take much credit for that, but.
But overall, with the eye makeup in combination, it feels like a very youthful, very fun, not overly done, very fresh take on being Euphoria-inspired. I absolutely love it.
And I'm so curious to know how many of you are going to try this look. So if you're watching, leave in the comments. Well, I just want to know who's going to try this because I'm going to be in the comments saying I'm going to try. I definitely will. Denny, I want to know though, out of all the looks that you've done in your career, do you have a favorite that stands out from Halloween, either on yourself or a client that was like a very special moment that you're like, wow, I absolutely killed that?
Yeah, actually, is that skull candy made out of everything that still haunt me to this day. That makeup took me about 3 hours to do.
Oh wow!
That's not even the preparation. That's just 3 hours, and it's a gold skull candy. I've used gemmed. I've used paper, and it had like tooth made out of like sticks. So it was interesting. It took forever, but it was well worth it. That's still one of my favorite makeup to this day.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Deney. It's always very inspiring and
me.
informational to have you here. And you look absolutely beautiful, Sage. Thank you for being here as well.
Yeah.
And David, as always, absolutely love to spend any time that I can with you. Always such a pleasure and so much information. I love
Thank
it.
you so much.
Thank you.
We'll
do
Thank you.
something like that
And
for
thank you
Halloween.
so much for joining us on Unveiling Beauty. Be sure to try the Halloween makeup tricks that Deney shared with us today.
Yes.
And you know what, guys? If you want to buy any of this product, guess what? It is available not only at an Ulta Beauty store near you, but online as well. And don't forget to follow along and share Unveiling Beauty with us. Until next time, stay well, feel beautiful, and be you.